The first signs came in the form of electromagnetic disturbances that lit up SETI arrays across the globe. Dr. Sarah Chen, lead astronomer at the Mauna Kea Observatory, initially dismissed them as another false positive. But when the patterns repeated with mathematical precision, she knew humanity was about to change forever. The VEX theory arrived on a Tuesday morning, their crystalline ships gliding into Earth orbit like ethereal dancers. 3 massive vessels, each stretching nearly 2 kilometers in length, positioned themselves in a perfect equilateral triangle above the planet. Their message, when it came, was elegance itself. We bring greetings and the gift of advancement. World leaders scrambled to respond, but it was the United Nations Security Council that eventually took point on humanity's first contact protocol. The VEX theory ambassador, who called himself First Speaker Ixthan, appeared as a towering, almost angelic figure, silver-skinned with iridescent patterns that shifted across their surface like oil on water. Their technology seemed to border on magic, offering solutions to climate change, disease, and energy scarcity. Dr. Chen was among the first scientists invited to study their technology. "There's something off about their generosity," she confided to her colleague, Dr. James Martinez, as they examined a VEX theory atmospheric purifier. "Why give away such advanced technology so freely?" Martinez shrugged, his eyes fixed on the dancing patterns of light within the device. "Maybe they're genuinely altruistic. Not everything has to have an ulterior motive." But Sarah's suspicions proved prophetic. The attack came exactly 3 months after first contact, just as humanity had begun integrating VEX theory technology into their infrastructure. It started with a pulse, a simple signal that transformed every piece of gifted alien tech into a weapon. Atmospheric purifiers released clouds of nanites that began breaking down military installations. Medical devices turned against their patients. Power stations across the globe went into meltdown. And from orbit, the 3 beautiful crystalline ships unfurled into massive battle stations, their elegant forms revealing gun batteries and launch bays that had been hidden in plain sight. First Speaker Ixthan's final message dripped with contempt. "You humans are so predictable. Your desperation for advancement makes you blind. Did you really think we traveled light years to play benefactor to primitives? Your world will serve as an excellent forward base for the VEX theory expansion, once we've properly cleansed it." But humanity had one advantage the VEX theory hadn't counted on: paranoia. Despite the apparent benefits of alien technology, several nations had maintained their legacy systems and military infrastructure, refusing to fully integrate the gifted tech. Leading this cautious approach was Colonel Diana Wright of the United States Cyber Command, who had insisted on maintaining air-gapped systems and conventional military capabilities. As chaos erupted across the globe, Wright's foresight proved invaluable. From hardened bunkers and isolated military bases, humanity began to mount its first resistance. Old fighter jets scrambled into the sky, their very primitiveness making them immune to the VEX theory digital assault. Nuclear submarines, running on systems designed during the Cold War, maintained humanity's strategic deterrent. In New Delhi, Dr. Amrita Patel, a quantum computing specialist, made the first breakthrough. Working with a team of international scientists in a makeshift lab, she discovered that the VEX theory's technological superiority had made them careless. Their systems, while advanced, had never needed to defend against certain types of basic electronic warfare. "They've evolved beyond some of the fundamental computing principles we still use," she explained to a room full of military leaders. "It's like they're so advanced, they've forgotten their roots. And that's their weakness." As the first waves of VEX theory ground forces descended, tall, crystalline beings wielding energy weapons, humanity began to adapt. Dr. Chen and Dr. Martinez, working from a bunker beneath Mauna Kea, started analyzing the patterns in the aliens' crystalline technology. They discovered that the same mathematical precision that made their technology so advanced also made it predictable. The first human victory came in the Battle of Santiago. A squadron of Chilean Air Force A-29 Super Tucanos, aircraft considered obsolete by modern standards, managed to down a Vex-Theory battleship by exploiting gaps in their defensive systems that didn't account for projectile weapons. The crystalline ship shattered spectacularly, raining shards across the Andes Mountains. As the first month of the invasion drew to a close, humanity had lost much but learned more. The Vex-Theory's attempt to use Earth's own infrastructure against it had failed to deliver the quick victory they'd anticipated. Now they faced a species that not only refused to bow, but was beginning to understand their weaknesses. Colonel Wright, speaking from the newly established Human Defense Command, summed up the situation. They thought they were being clever, turning our world against us. But they forgot something crucial about humanity. We've spent our entire history preparing for the worst. Now they'll learn why. The stage was set for a conflict that would reshape both species. The Vex-Theory had started this war with contempt for humanity's primitive nature. They were about to learn that sometimes the primitive path is the deadliest. 2 months into the war, the smoking ruins of Singapore's financial district had been transformed into something unprecedented. Where gleaming skyscrapers once stood, a maze of makeshift laboratories and workshops now sprawled across the destroyed cityscape. This was Operation Phoenix, humanity's greatest collaborative scientific endeavor. Dr. Amrita Patel stood before a holographic display, her tired eyes reflecting cascading lines of alien code. Around her, thousands of scientists from every corner of the world worked in unified purpose. The Vex-Theory's initial attack had taught humanity a harsh lesson, but it had also given them something invaluable: working examples of advanced alien technology. Their arrogance is our advantage, Amrita explained to the assembled team leaders. They never bothered to retrieve their damaged vessels or equipment. They thought we'd never understand their technology quickly enough to matter. She gestured to the crystalline shard floating in a containment field. They were wrong. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Chen, analyzing the crystalline structures of Vex-Theory technology, discovered they weren't just sophisticated machines, they were living computers. Each crystal was a complex neural network, grown rather than manufactured. This revelation changed everything. Working with bioengineers from Japan's Advanced Technology Institute, Shen developed a method to communicate with the crystal fragments. They're like technological coral reefs, she explained during a global briefing. Each piece contains the basic patterns of their whole technological ecosystem. We don't need to understand how to build their tech. We just need to learn how to speak its language. Colonel Wright, now General Wright, immediately grasped the implications. Within weeks, Operation Phoenix had grown crystal hybrid processors that could interface with salvaged Vex-Theory systems. But humanity didn't stop at mere replication. They began to innovate. Dr. Martinez led a team that combined human analog systems with crystal computing, creating hybrid weapons that the Vex-Theory couldn't easily detect or counter. We're not trying to match their technology, he explained to military leaders. We're creating something entirely new, something they've never seen before. The first major test of this new hybrid technology came during the Battle of Mumbai. When Vex-Theory forces attempted to establish a beachhead on the Indian coast, they encountered something unexpected. Hidden in the city's ancient networks of caves and tunnels, human forces had installed crystal-enhanced electromagnetic pulse generators. The pulses, modulated to match the precise frequency of Vex-Theory neural networks, didn't just disable their technology. They caused it pain. The aliens' reactions proved Shen's theory correct. Their technology wasn't just alive, it was connected to them on a fundamental level. Each pulse that disrupted their equipment also disrupted their own crystalline biology. The Vex-Theory retreated in disarray, experiencing for the first time what it felt like to face a technologically superior foe. But the real game-changer came from an unlikely collaboration between Dr. Patel and a team of teenage hackers from Brazil. While the world's top computer scientists had been approaching Vex-Theory systems from an advanced theoretical framework, these young hackers saw something different. They recognized patterns in the alien code that resembled early video game programming. It's like they built this massive, sophisticated cathedral," explained Marina Santos, the 16-year-old leader of the hacker team. "But the foundation is still just simple math. We don't need to understand the whole cathedral. We just need to shake the foundation." Using this insight, they developed viruses that could infiltrate Vex theory systems by exploiting basic computational vulnerabilities the aliens had long since forgotten about. It was like using a stone axe to cut through advanced body armor. Primitive, but surprisingly effective. The tide began to turn. Across the globe, human forces began deploying hybrid weapons and crystal-enhanced systems. Old military hardware, retrofitted with crystal processors, proved devastatingly effective. Soviet-era tanks, long since retired, were pulled from storage and upgraded. Their simple, robust design combined with crystal-enhanced targeting and power systems created platforms that could go toe-to-toe with Vex theory walkers. In orbit, the first human crystal hybrid spacecraft took flight. These weren't elegant crystalline vessels like the Vex theory ships. They were ugly, practical machines that combined human industrial capability with alien computational power. Leading this new space force was Captain Elena Rodriguez, a former commercial pilot who'd proven exceptionally adept at understanding crystal hybrid systems. The Vex theory think in straight lines, Rodriguez observed during a training session. They see space as a three-dimensional grid, but humans, we think in curves, in chaos, in impossible angles. We're teaching their own technology to think like us, and it's driving them crazy. From their orbital strongholds, the Vex theory watched with growing concern as their ground forces suffered defeat after defeat. First Speaker Ixthan, in a rare moment of clarity, realized their fundamental mistake. They had assumed that giving humans advanced technology would make them dependent, easier to control. Instead, it had given humanity the tools to forge something entirely new, a perfect fusion of human ingenuity and alien sophistication. As Operation Phoenix continued to churn out innovations, General Wright prepared for the next phase of the war. "We're not just adapting to their technology," she announced to the Global Defense Council. "We're evolving beyond it. And soon, we're taking this fight to the stars." The Vex theory had come to Earth expecting to find primitive beings ready for conquest. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous: human creativity unleashed upon the canvas of advanced alien technology. The age of hybrid warfare had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The void between Earth and Mars became humanity's first interplanetary battlefield. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the HSS Daedalus, Earth's first crystal hybrid capital ship, watching as her fleet of ghost ships moved into position. These vessels, barely visible to the naked eye, represented humanity's greatest achievement in hybrid technology. "Ghost Fleet Actual, all units report ready," her communications officer announced. The fleet, comprising 30 ships of varying sizes, had been built in secret facilities carved into the asteroid belt. Each vessel incorporated the lessons learned from Operation Phoenix, but with a distinctly human twist that would soon shock their alien adversaries. Dr. Chen's research had led to a breakthrough in crystal camouflage technology. By studying the way Vex theory crystals processed light and energy, human engineers had developed a system that didn't just hide their ships. It made them appear as nothing more than space debris. The Daedalus itself, despite being over a kilometer long, registered on Vex theory sensors as a cluster of harmless meteoroids. "Remember," Rodriguez addressed her fleet, "we're not fighting their way. We're fighting our way. Hit and fade. Strike from impossible angles. Be the ghost stories that keep alien commanders awake at night." The opportunity to test their new strategy came sooner than expected. The Vex theory supply convoy, consisting of 5 massive haulers and their escort vessels, emerged from faster-than-light travel near Mars orbit. They had grown complacent in their control of the solar system, never expecting a serious threat from the supposedly contained humans. The Ghost Fleet struck like a nightmare made real. Ships seemingly materialized from nowhere, their hybrid weapon systems combining traditional kinetic weapons with crystal-enhanced energy projectors. The Vextheri escorts, caught completely off guard, found their sophisticated defensive systems overwhelmed by attacks coming from weapons that shouldn't exist. Marina Santos, now serving as the fleet's chief electronic warfare specialist, had developed what she called primitive protocols. Combat algorithms so basic that they slipped through the cracks of Vextheri cyber defenses. It's like trying to stop a stone axe with an anti-missile system, she explained later. Their technology is looking for sophisticated threats, not simple ones. The battle was over in minutes. 4 of the 5 haulers were captured intact, their crystalline crews neutralized by targeted electromagnetic pulses developed by Dr. Patel's team. The 5th hauler and 3 escort ships managed to escape, carrying with them tales of impossible human ships that appeared and disappeared at will. But the true value of the victory lay in what they captured. The haulers contained not just supplies, but detailed navigational data about Vextheri supply lines and colony locations. General Wright, coordinating from Earth Command, immediately recognized the strategic importance of this intelligence. They've expanded too fast, she observed during a strategic briefing. Their empire is wide but thin. They never expected to face opposition out here, so they left themselves vulnerable. Classic imperial overreach. Over the next 3 months, the Ghost Fleet struck repeatedly at Vextheri supply lines. Each victory brought more captured technology, more intelligence, and more understanding of their enemies' weaknesses. Dr. Martins and his team worked continuously to incorporate new findings into their hybrid systems, making each engagement more effective than the last. The Vextheri response was predictable. They began fortifying their supply lines, diverting military resources to protect their logistics. But this was exactly what humanity had planned for. While the aliens concentrated on defending their shipping lanes, human scientists were making another breakthrough. Dr. Chen, working with the captured navigational data, discovered something extraordinary about Vextheri faster than light travel. They're using the crystals themselves to fold space, she explained to the War Council. But their methods are mathematically rigid, following preset paths like cosmic highways. We can do better. The result was the quantum ghost drive, a hybrid propulsion system that combined crystal technology with human understanding of quantum mechanics. Unlike the Vextheri ships, which needed to follow specific FTL routes, human vessels could now make shorter, unpredictable jumps through space. It wasn't as fast as alien FTL travel, but it was far more flexible. First speaker Ixthan, receiving reports of human ships appearing inside supposedly secure star systems, finally understood the full magnitude of their mistake. The Vextheri had evolved their technology along purely logical lines, always seeking the most efficient solution. Humans, on the other hand, had evolved to survive, to adapt, to find ways around problems rather than through them. The breaking point came at the Battle of Proxima Centauri, a major Vextheri fleet, assembled to finally crush the human resistance, found themselves fighting shadows. The Ghost Fleet would appear, strike with devastating precision, then vanish before the aliens could bring their superior numbers to bear. Human ships seemed to ignore the laws of physics, appearing from impossible angles and striking at what should have been secure positions. Captain Rodriguez, watching the Vextheri fleet chase sensor ghosts and phantom targets, couldn't help but smile. They still don't understand, she told her bridge crew. They're fighting the last war, using tactics that worked for thousands of years. We're fighting the next war, making up the rules as we go. As the battle ended in another human victory, a transmission was intercepted from the retreating Vextheri commander to their high command. These humans, they're not fighting with technology anymore. They're fighting with imagination. And we don't know how to counter that. The stage was set for humanity's next move. With their supply lines in chaos and their fleets demoralized, the Vextheri Empire was about to learn another harsh lesson. Never corner a species that thrives on adversity. The war room deep beneath Denver's ruins hummed with activity as General Wright unveiled Operation Thunderbolt. Holographic displays showed the known extent of Vex Theory space, an empire spanning hundreds of star systems, but with clear signs of strain. The Ghost Fleet's campaign had left their logistics in shambles, and now humanity was ready to strike at their heart. Their empire is built like their technology, Dr. Paddle explained, highlighting key systems in the hologram. Beautiful, sophisticated, but ultimately fragile. They've never faced a serious external threat before us. Their entire civilization is optimized for efficiency, not resilience. Marina Santos, recently promoted to commander of electronic warfare, had made another crucial discovery. The captured navigational data revealed that the Vex Theory civilization depended heavily on crystalline quantum communication networks. It's like their entire empire is one giant neural network, she explained. Fast and efficient in normal operations, but vulnerable to cascading failures if we hit the right nodes. The plan that emerged was audacious, rather than attempting to match the Vex Theory ship for ship in a conventional war. Humanity would wage a campaign of systematic disruption. Captain Rodriguez's Ghost Fleet, now expanded to over 100 vessels, would be divided into autonomous strike groups, each targeting critical infrastructure across Vex Theory space. Dr. Chen and Dr. Martinez had developed a new weapon specifically for this campaign, the quantum resonance disruptor. Based on their understanding of crystalline technology, it could trigger destructive harmonic frequencies in Vex Theory systems. Think of it as giving their entire technological network a seizure, Martinez explained. Non-lethal, but completely debilitating. Operation Thunderbolt began with simultaneous strikes on 20 Vex Theory communication hubs. Ghost ships appeared from quantum jumps directly inside their defensive perimeters, launched their disruptors, and vanished before the defenders could respond. The effect was devastating. Entire sectors of Vex Theory space went dark as their quantum communication network collapsed. First Speaker Ixthan, receiving increasingly desperate reports from across the Empire, finally realized the true nature of the human threat. They weren't just fighting human ships, they were fighting human unpredictability. Every response the Vex Theory attempted was countered before it could be implemented, as if the humans could anticipate their moves. In truth, they could. Marina's team had cracked the underlying patterns of Vex Theory strategic thinking. Their military doctrine is like their code, she explained to the War Council. Logical, hierarchical, and utterly predictable once you understand its basic principles. They literally cannot think outside their established parameters. The campaign accelerated. Ghost Fleet strike groups hit manufacturing centers, shipyards, and military bases across Vex Theory space. But unlike the aliens' attempt to conquer Earth, humanity's attacks were surgical and precise. Civilian populations were left untouched, while military and industrial capability was systematically dismantled. Dr. Patel's team had developed specialized crystal hybrid drones that could infiltrate Vex Theory facilities and transmit detailed intelligence. These quantum whispers, as the troops called them, revealed a growing crisis in the alien empire. Without their quantum communication network, their highly centralized civilization was falling into chaos. The turning point came at the Battle of Sirius. The Vex Theory, attempting to counter the human strategy, had concentrated their remaining fleet for a decisive engagement. It was exactly what humanity had planned for. Captain Rodriguez's Ghost Fleet emerged from quantum space in a complex three-dimensional formation that the aliens' tactical systems couldn't process. "They're still thinking in straight lines," Rodriguez observed as she gave the attack order. "Let's show them how humans wage war in 3 dimensions." The battle that followed would be studied in military academies for centuries to come. Human ships moved in patterns that seemed random, but were actually carefully choreographed chaos. Quantum ghost drives allowed them to jump in and out of combat faster than Vex Theory targeting systems could adapt. Crystal hybrid weapons fired from constantly changing vectors, overwhelming defensive screens designed to handle conventional attacks. The Vex Theory fleet, the pride of their military, broke under the assault. But unlike their alien adversaries, humans showed mercy and victory. As disabled crystalline ships drifted in space, human vessels moved in to rescue survivors. It was a decisive demonstration of the difference between the two civilizations, one built on conquest, the other on resilience and determination. In the aftermath of the battle, General Wright received an unexpected transmission from the Vextheri High Command. Their empire, for the first time in its history, was offering unconditional surrender. The message came with a surprising admission. "We have never encountered a species that fights as you do. You have shown us that true advancement comes not from technological superiority, but from the spirit that drives its use." But even as victory seemed assured, Dr. Chen made a disturbing discovery in the captured Vextheri databases. The aliens' interest in Earth hadn't been random. There was something buried deep beneath humanity's homeworld, something that the Vextheri both coveted and feared, something that would force both species to reevaluate everything they thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. As the war drew to its close, humanity stood ready to face this new mystery. They had taken alien technology and made it their own, transformed defeat into victory, and shown the galaxy that sophistication without spirit was nothing compared to determination and ingenuity. But their greatest challenge still lay ahead, buried in the depths of their own world. The discovery began 3 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean floor. Dr. Chen and Dr. Martinez led a team of scientists examining what they initially thought was a natural crystalline formation. But as their hybrid sensors penetrated deeper into Earth's crust, they realized they were looking at something far more significant. "It's like looking at a seed," Chen explained to the assembled world leaders, her holographic displays showing a massive crystalline structure that pulsed with dormant energy. But not a Vextheri seed. This is something far older, far more sophisticated. The captured Vextheri databases had revealed a stunning truth. Earth wasn't just another planet to conquer. It was a vault, hiding something their species had been searching for across thousands of light years, the legacy of a civilization they called the predecessors. First speaker Ixthan, now a prisoner of war, finally revealed the full story. The predecessors were the first to master crystal technology. He explained through a quantum translator. They seeded hundreds of worlds with their knowledge before vanishing. We thought we were their chosen inheritors, but we only found fragments of their wisdom. Then we detected the signal from Earth, a complete archive buried deep within your world. Dr. Patel's analysis confirmed it. The crystalline structure beneath the Pacific wasn't just data storage. It was a complete repository of predecessor knowledge and technology. But here's the interesting part, she noted. It's been actively scanning us, studying human evolution and development. I don't think we were just sitting on this archive. We were part of a grand experiment. Marina Santos, working with her team to decode the predecessor data patterns, made another startling discovery. The crystal's code structure matches human DNA patterns, she announced. Not exactly, but the similarities are too close for coincidence. The predecessors didn't just leave their technology here. They left it specifically for us. The truth reshaped humanity's understanding of their own history. The predecessors hadn't just chosen Earth by chance. They had guided human evolution itself, subtly influencing DNA patterns over millions of years to create beings capable of thinking in ways their own species could not. Humanity's greatest strength, their ability to imagine, to innovate, to think beyond logical constraints, was precisely what the predecessors had been trying to develop. Captain Rodriguez, standing on the bridge of the Daedalus as it orbited Earth, watched the first activation of the predecessor archive through quantum-linked sensors. The crystalline structure awakened slowly, unfurling patterns of energy that reached up through miles of ocean and rock. But instead of the catastrophic event the Vextheri had feared, the activation was more like a conversation. The archive didn't just contain technology. It held the collective wisdom of a civilization that had transcended traditional physical forms. The predecessors had evolved beyond their crystalline bodies, becoming beings of pure energy and thought. But they had recognized their own limitations, their inability to think beyond perfect logical patterns, and had engineered humanity to overcome these constraints. General Wright, overseeing the integration of this new knowledge with humanity's hybrid technology, understood the profound implications. The Vex theory found the predecessor's technology, but couldn't truly understand it. They used it to build an empire of crystal and light, never realizing that the true power lay not in the technology itself, but in the imagination to use it in ways its creators never envisioned. The awakening of the predecessor archive marked the beginning of a new era. Humanity gained access to technological knowledge far beyond even what the Vex theory had achieved, but their unique way of thinking allowed them to implement it in ways the original creators had never imagined. The combination of human creativity with predecessor technology proved more powerful than either civilization had dreamed possible. The Vex theory, humbled by their defeat and enlightened by humanity's example, requested permission to learn from their former enemies. First Speaker Ixthan, speaking for his species, acknowledged that their pursuit of technological perfection had led them down a path of stagnation. "We sought to conquer those we thought primitive," he admitted, only to discover that true advancement comes from embracing chaos and creativity, not just logical progression. In the decades that followed, Earth became the center of a new galactic civilization. Human ingenuity, combined with predecessor knowledge and Vex theory cooperation, led to achievements that transformed the galaxy. The Ghost Fleet evolved into an exploration force, seeking out other worlds where the predecessors might have left their legacy. Crystal hybrid technology advanced in ways that even the predecessors might not have imagined, shaped by human creativity and determination. Dr. Chen, on the 10th anniversary of the Archive's awakening, stood before the United Galactic Council, a governing body that included humans, reformed Vex theory, and representatives from other species they had encountered. "The predecessors didn't choose us because we were special," she declared. "They chose us because we were adaptable, unpredictable, imaginative. They gave us the tools, but it was human spirit that transformed those tools into something new." Captain Rodriguez, now Admiral of the Exploration Fleet, put it more simply in her final log entry before leading an expedition beyond known space. The Vex theory came to Earth expecting to find primitives. Instead, they found the very thing their creators had been trying to achieve, a species that could take perfection and make it better by making it imperfect. That's humanity's gift to the galaxy. The ability to find beauty in chaos, strength in adaptation, and victory in the face of impossible odds. The war that began with an invasion had ended with a transformation. Humanity had not just survived, they had fulfilled a destiny millions of years in the making. And as their ships ventured out into the unknown reaches of space, they carried with them the greatest lesson of all. True advancement comes not from achieving perfection, but from the endless creativity of imperfect beings striving to achieve the impossible.